Hi, I'm back. So I'm doing a pre-recorded video this time, and it's only going to be, I'm hoping that it's only going to be about 10 minutes, maybe less than 10 minutes. So this week I watched Boomerang, and it's the 90s movie, Eddie Murphy and a whole bunch of other people about it. Eddie Murphy is a playboy, and he ends up getting played. So this is an old movie, so it's like a throwback Thursday kind of night. And so, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, it's playing on Amazon Prime right now. So go watch it if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a long time. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is all the things that I learned about how to spot a playboy from this movie. So here we go. There are 10 things that I picked up about how to spot a playboy. So the first thing was he's going to be friendly to everyone. In this movie, Eddie Murphy was walking through the lobby at the beginning, and he was saying hello, hello, hello to everyone. And the entire lobby was full of women. The only man in the lobby was Chris Rock, which was hilarious. I was like, where are all the men in this building? And so he was so super duper friendly to everyone. Hey, how you doing? So that's the number one thing. He's super friendly. That's when they're putting on the charm and they're trying to make sure you know that they are a good guy, or think they are a good guy. So they're friendly to everyone, especially women. And they're surrounded by women. And the second thing is their secretary or anyone who works closely with them, they're not going to be attracted to them. It's not going to be someone who is their type. As you saw in the movie, his secretary was like his auntie or something. So that's the second thing. They're not going to be attracted to anybody who works closely with them, or who is responsible for helping them do their day-to-day activities. That's the same thing. Remember in the last movie we watched, which was Perfect Stranger, his secretary or his personal assistant was a beautiful woman, but she was a lesbian. So that's another thing, because they don't want to mess up their business. They don't want to mess up any type of business dealings they have going on by being attracted to anyone who's close to them, who has to make plans for them, et cetera, et cetera. The third thing is their career will give them easy access to beautiful women. So it's so funny. Perfect Stranger and this movie have that in common as well. They were both ad execs or marketing executives. In Perfect Stranger, Sid Harper, the ad guy, he was like the president CEO of this advertising agency, and he worked with Victoria's Secret and Reebok. So he was around being shaped, gorgeous women all the time. And then in this movie, Marcus is a marketing exec, and he was just about beautiful women all the time. And even at the beginning, his secretary said, oh, the women are ready for the lotion, the body lotion spot. And he scooted around and he looked in the room where they were all waiting, and it was like, whoo. The dog just came out of him. And so yeah, that's the third thing. They'll be surrounded by beautiful women on a day-to-day basis, including in their career choice. The fourth thing is, their friends. Their friends are not as smart as them, or maybe not as clever or crafty as them. Their friends, they won't all be playboys like the lead playboy. They won't be as handsome as him, and they won't have that personality that he has, that charismatic personality, that charming personality, that personality that women will be very attracted to. He'll surround himself with beautiful women, but the men that he surrounds himself with will provide no competition to him. The next thing is number 4 is, no, that was number 4. Number 5, The women who approach will get no play. So a playboy likes to chase. So being a playboy, he is not really going to be feeling a woman who just comes up and offers herself to him. And I got that part from when they were in the restaurant, when Marcus and his friends were in the restaurant, and this beautiful woman was eavesdropping on their conversation. And when she finished her lunch, she came up to the table and basically just introduced herself to Marcus. And he was flattered, but it didn't go any farther than that. He could have easily gotten her number, taken her out, played her too, but she just came up and she had a beautiful accent. She was from Holland, and she was gorgeous and tall and just had it going on. And the friends were jealous. Man, stuff like that never happens to me. Stuff like that never happens to anybody except for Marcus. I know this movie. I know this movie by heart, pretty much. And that was it. She came up, introduced herself. He said, beautiful accent, nice to meet you. She walked on ahead. And I think, and I know that it's because she was no challenge to him. Playboys like to play. They like to chase. They like to be the predator to the prey. So yeah, women who approach get no play. Number 6, they have a lie ready at all times. They have a lie ready at the drop of a dime. If they need to lie, they have a lie waiting for you. So at the beginning of the movie, Marcus, he forgets to call one of his dates, and his secretary reminds him, and she gets the lady on the phone. And as soon as he picks up the phone, he's like, oh yeah, I couldn't call you because I was in an accident. You didn't see it. It's all over the news right now. And so he was like, oh, but you missed it. It's gone. It's gone. You missed it. But yeah, you can make it up to me. Oh yeah, massage sounds fly. So he had a lie all ready for her. He didn't call her. So he made up a huge lie saying that he was in an accident that was so bad that it was on the news right now. And she even offered to give him a massage because he said that his neck was sore or something like that. But he had that lie just ready. And he lied a few times. He lied a few times in this movie. What else did he? Oh, he lied to the Christy, Layla Rashawn's character, when he said, he saw her while that same time that he was having lunch, that the lady from Holland approached him. He wasn't interested, but he saw Layla Rashawn in the distance walking her dog. And he just went up and got a leash from someone, purchased a leash from someone off the street, and pretended that he lost his dog. I mean, he had Kirby. He just had a made-up dog name ready. He had a whole story about how the dog got off the leash, and he was just ready with the lie. And the other, oh wait, I'm gonna get to that part. So the next one, number 7, is they will use the woman's soft spot as a weakness or as a way to manipulate them. So for example, again, with him pretending that he lost his dog, he saw that she was out walking her dog. She was out smiling and just having a really good time. So he decided to manipulate her or to lie to her by pretending that he had a dog also. So that was the first thing. The second thing was when they finally went out on a date, or when he invited her over for a date, she was saying that he had this was at her house. She was saying, oh, Marcus has it's a little Marcus inside of you, and he's dying to come out, and he's been hurt too. So he was like, no, not really, but if that's what you're into. And he just made up a lie right there on the spot. But he catered to what he knew that she was into. He knew that Marcus knew that Christy wanted to hear some kind of psychological, sad story about him being hurt. So that's what he gave her. He was ready with the lie on a dime, and he catered to her soft spot. She wanted to nurture him in that moment, and so he let her do that by telling her a big old lie about him getting married or getting engaged and catching the fiance with the best man and with the priest. So he used her soft spot as a way to manipulate her. Number 8 is he always has dates at his place. You never see him out with anyone except his friends. The only time he's out is when he's with his boys, or when he finally goes out with Angela. When he's all depressed, he goes out with her. It wasn't a date, but she took him to do artwork with the kids and everything. But all of his so-called dates happened at his house. So that's the number 8 reason, or number 8 way that you could tell a playboy, is that his dates always are, the venue is always at his house. And there was a reason for that too. I think it's because he was a bachelor, so he had good money, a really nice career. So he wanted to show off his house. He wanted to show off his big bed and the flowers all over the place, and his sound system that, was all over the house, and all of that kind of thing. That was just something that he used to impress women. It's just take him back to his house. And plus, he's a playboy. He's going to sleep with you. So why take you out when the whole end game for him was just to get you back home so that he could sleep with you? So let's just have the date right here while we're looking at this bed. And the number 9 thing is that a playboy is always going to have a platonic female friend. And that female friend is going to be there when he's not preoccupied with someone else. And that platonic friend is going to be platonic until things get really dry and there's nowhere else to go but to that female friend. So in this movie, Angela, played by Halle Berry, was the female friend. And when he got played by Jackie, the Robin Givens character, that's who he turned to. She was always there in the background, saying little things, teasing him about having a crush or liking Jackie. And so then when things didn't work out there, she was already there. So they always have a female friend just waiting in the wings to comfort them and console them, or to help occupy their time when they're not preoccupied with one of their playthings. And the 10th thing is the relapse. They will always have a relapse. So at the end of the movie, when everything turns out that Marcus is going to end up with the good girl, the one who he actually falls in love with, who is Angela, Halle Berry's character. It looks like everything is cool, and then as they're walking down the street, there's another woman coming. He apologized. He wanted her back. He told her that he was in love with her, but there's another woman walking down the street, and she knows that he's going to look. He's going to relapse. A player cannot change overnight. So she says, if you even turn and look at her, I'm going to break your neck. But there's always going to be that relapse. So those are the 10 ways that you could tell a playboy. They don't change. They're going to have a female friend. They don't change overnight. They're going to have a female friend waiting in the wings for them. The dates will always be at his place. They will use your soft spot to manipulate you. They have a lie ready at the drop of a dime if they need one. Women who approach them get no play because they like to chase. They have friends who are not as charismatic or handsome as they are. Their careers or the things that they do on a regular basis will always have them surrounded by beautiful women. The people who are closest to them, who have to help them in their day-to-day activities, such as their secretary or their personal assistants, will not be someone who they are normally attracted to. And the number one thing is that they are friendly to everyone, especially women. Not just friendly, but very charming and charismatic to everyone, especially women. Those are the 10 ways that you could tell a Playboy that I learned from watching the movie Boomerang. So there are how many minutes? 15 minutes. Good. There are 3 things or 3 ways that I saw where he made a bad move. The first thing was he messed around with one of his neighbors. Why would a Playboy mess around with one of his neighbors if he knows that he's just going to play with this person and use them up? And then he likes to have dates at his house. Why, oh, why? Would he play around with someone who's his neighbor? And then he had the nerve to live in a place where the neighbor can see you clearly from their place over to your place. It's a wide open space, a beautiful apartment, a wide open space. And the neighbor, she was like, yoo-hoo! She was holding up signs, girlfriend, you don't want to mess with him. So that was the one of the bad moves that he made, messing with a neighbor. You never, if you're going to play with the person, you don't mess with someone who's that close to you. The second thing, speaking of people who are close to you, when he got played by Lady Eloise, wow, he was trying to do this to further his career and ended up getting played by an old lady played by Eartha Kitt. That was so awesome. But yeah, he was just doing it to try to further his career. But she had no power, and the job was already Robin Givens' job. So that was a bad move, trying to sleep your way to the top. The third and final way that he made a bad move was he tried to treat all women the same. And that's where he messed up and how he got played by Jackie, Robin Givens' character. At the beginning, when he went out on a date with Christy, Layla Rashawn's character, he cooked the night. He invited her to his house. He cooked a beautiful dinner. And she was so impressed. Christy was so impressed. She said, "Oh, gold star for Marcus. Dinner was wonderful," or "dinner was great," or whatever she said. And so he probably made that same old tired meal for Robin Givens' character, Jackie. But when she came over, she was like, she wasn't impressed at all. And she wasn't saying anything. So he decided to tell her, "Oh yeah, the secret to my salmon is rosemary and dill and butter." And so she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about something else." She didn't care about those daggone flavors and seasonings on his fish. So that was one of his issues, is that he didn't realize that there were women of different values. And so he tried to treat every woman the same, but he didn't realize that with her, he needed to do things. If he was going to try to play her, he needed to do things a little bit differently. Also, speaking of that, when Christy came over, she was dressed really pretty. She was ready for a date, and she was easily impressed. When Robin Givens came over, she came over as a colleague and ended up treating him like a friend zone person. She came over in pants. I know, Bella. Bella's whining. She came over in pants and a turtleneck and some cute little boots. She was still very cute, but she wasn't dressed for a date. She came over as a colleague and ended up treating him like a friend zone type of person. She asked him for a beer. She was like, do you mind if we go watch the game? She wanted to watch the basketball game. She sat down with her elbows on her knees, very unladylike. She took a big old bite of the food. And yeah, she didn't come for that. Or maybe that was part of her seduction to him is to basically treat him the total opposite of the way that he's used to women treating him and reacting to him. Is this to treat him like she was one of the boys, or that they were just in the friend zone. So that was another one of his bad moves, is that he tried to treat every woman the same, but that's how he ended up getting played by Robin Givens. Or feeling that he had to work harder for her because she wasn't impressed easily. And so those are the 10 ways that you can spot a playboy and some of the bad moves that he made. And finally, I just want to say some of the things that I just loved about this movie. I loved that him getting played was organic, that it wasn't a trick by a bystander. Like, it wasn't like someone saw that he was being a playboy and they got together with some girlfriends and conspired against him and said, oh, you should make him fall in love with you and then dump him. I love that it wasn't a setup, that it happened organically, that it happened like karma would happen. So I like it. That made it not corny. And then I like that it wasn't cheesy, because at the end he didn't completely change, because like I said, at the end when he was with Angela, he was still about to, that he was about to turn around and look at that other woman after he begged and pleaded her for her forgiveness and told her that he was in love with her. You saw that it's still in him. So I like that it wasn't a complete 180 turnaround, because that's fake. You can't take a person who's one way 100% and then they turn all the way around completely after a couple of weeks or something. So I like that part. I love the soundtrack to this movie. This is probably the hottest soundtrack ever for a movie. Babyface is all over the soundtrack. There's Babyface, there's Toni Braxton, there's PM Dawn, Boyz II Men. Is that Aaron Hall? So who's singing? Aaron Hall or Guy, the group Guy or Aaron Hall singing on there, and produced by Babyface and L.A. Reid. I mean, this soundtrack was just so amazing. And let me see. I think there was one more thing. Oh no, a couple more things. So I love the fact that Angela, Halle Berry's character, learned her lesson about moving too fast and allowing herself to fall in love too quickly, because at the end she was saying, as they were walking down the street, she was saying, this time I'm staying at my own house with my own stuff. And that was one of the things that happened, was it seemed like she got caught up too quickly. One scene they were just making out on the couch, and then the next time you saw them together, or a couple scenes later, all of her artwork and everything was all at his house. She was sleeping over while he wasn't even home. I mean, it just moved super fast. So I love that you saw that she gave him another chance, but she wasn't going to fall that fast again. And she was going to be a little bit more responsible with her own feelings. So that was really nice. And then the final thing I love about this movie is all of the famous people who were in it, or they were either already famous or up and coming famous people. And I don't know, it's like collaborative opportunities or networking opportunities that happen, because the Martin show was already on the air when this movie came out. In the first or second season of Martin, Martin and Gina went out to the movies because Cole, I know all of these shows because Cole was staying at Martin's apartment. And when they came back in, they were trying to get away from him for a little while. When they came back in, they they alluded to the fact that they had gone to see Boomerang, because Martin said, we got out the house and I got to see Robin Givens in her panties. Um, so anyway, Robin Givens, Martin Lawrence, and Tisha Campbell were in this movie together. So that was cool. On the Martin show, you also have John Witherspoon was in a couple of episodes playing Martin's uncle, and Myra is in this movie. Uh, Her name is BB Drake Massey, the woman who plays Myra, who played Gerard's dad, David Allen Greer, who also had a couple of appearances on the Martin show as Lonnie Love, the pastor, the Reverend Lonnie Love. And who else? So Robin Givens, Halle Berry, Layla Rashawn, Eartha Kitt, Grace Jones, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, of course, and Mario Van Peebles' daddy, Melvin Van Peebles. I mean, it was just so full of celebrities. Every scene you saw a bunch of. Did I say Chris Rock? Chris Rock. And yeah, it was just, I really enjoyed just watching all of those famous people who were either famous already or maybe a little bit famous or up and coming or legends in this movie. So I just really enjoyed it. It was a nice classic movie to watch. So I think I'm going to start doing them like this pre-recorded, because then they can be a little bit shorter. This one is almost 27 minutes. So I'm just going to end it here because I wanted to be a little bit short. I'm going to try to make them shorter and shorter. But let me know if there's a specific movie you want me to do a countdown on about what I learned from the movie, or just like the video and subscribe if you like the energy, if you like the way that I have a different take on the movie, or the way I take a deeper dive into the movie. Subscribe to the channel because there are more movies that I will be talking about to come. Every Thursday, I will post up a video. I might even post them more often if I can make them shorter and shorter. But yeah, like the video and comment. Let me know what you liked about the movie. If there's anything that I missed about how to spot a Playboy, if there's anything I missed about what was great about the movie, if there's anything I missed about any bad moves that he made where he kind of messed up his Playboy status, make a comment below, like and subscribe to this channel, and come back and see me again. All right, bye. Mwah.